motion that we appoint Officer Little and Officer Terry to the Cohocton Police Department.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Another thing I got, Corporal Hawk here is, a few months ago, we signed into the body camera with the county. There's a work, and I have all the information here to have the board pass a policy. I'll give it to each one of you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That would be the state recommended policy and procedure for body worn cameras. I would ask the board to approve that so we can start using them. If we approve it, they will have training Wednesday and Thursday on the entire use. Corporal Hawk knows more about it. I'm just learning. If you have any questions, I'm sure he would be more than willing to answer them about the body cameras.
Is this the same policy that the county's following, or is yours different?
Ours is different. It's been in effect for quite a while, since prior to that policy's writing. That's the Municipal Police Training Council's recommended policy. I believe also signed by the Department or Division of Criminal Justice Services. More or less on a boilerplate level, it's ultimately very similar. At the end of the day, it's a pretty straightforward policy discussing when you can, when you can't have the camera on or off, when you're obligated to turn it on, inspection of the equipment, maintenance of the equipment. Pretty straightforward stuff. The cost associated with the cameras is not actually the cameras themselves. Typically, it's the storage of the data. Right. They create a significant amount of video footage that you're then obligated to maintain as digital evidence. So that's where the market really lies in all of that. Ultimately, they're about as straightforward and foolproof as you could possibly make something technologically. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to make sure it's not something Mark just found on Google.
No, it came from
State seal on there.
Yeah, it actually came from the training academy. Along with that, I would like to see what the board thinks about starting .gov accounts or .us email accounts, even for board members. There's things that we can do in a police agency to freeze things and get access to things, but we can't do it without a .gov or .us account. Currently we have AOL. If I need something frozen, someone's social media frozen or access to it, I either have a state police investigator try to freeze it or gain access, or I use my Mount Morris PD .gov account, which I probably shouldn't be using, but in the time that we should freeze something, and I use it. So I don't know what the cost is associated with a .gov or .us. I don't know any part of that.
Mark, what's the cost of storage? Do you know that for the?
This is the program where Corning Incorporated is going to pay the first 3 years,
Okay.
and then we were liable for year 4 and 5, which we went over a few months back.
Tay and I looked at .gov because we got an email a couple, maybe 2 months ago that, you know, municipalities should think about going to their system, and it's quite complicated, and it is a monthly fee. I did not go so far as to get the price because at that time I didn't know that they would be, you know, need something. Computer guy Larry said, and I don't know if you've heard anything, Tom, that eventually we will need to be, that municipalities should not be using.
I guess we get the prices for next month.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a big deal
To go to switch
to go to
that.
it. Probably makes the best more sense.
except that all our email addresses will be.
Mine won't.
But I know, yeah, well, thanks, yeah. That was one of the reasons that I didn't necessarily think it was, but they have automatic things, don't they? Some savvier computer people where it would automatically notify people your email address has changed.
It's possible.
Okay, we will look into that.
So you said the training's Wednesday for this,
It will be Wednesday and Thursday. He flies in from Arizona
as in tomorrow?
next week.
Okay.
So they can't use them until they get the proper training. Corporal Hawk can tell you there's buttons on it so you can turn lights off. In the nighttime, you don't want the 3 lights showing to make a center mass, and if you're in a shooter's situation, you're gonna want those lights turned off. So it's different training on how to operate them, turn different things on and off, how to upload their video. He'll be here for 2 days doing the training.
Do you, is this something we're paying for?
No,
The training?
this comes right when Axon pays for it.
Okay, so I don't think we even need a motion, do we, for them to
To
do
accept
that?
this policy.
To adopt this.
Oh, to adopt the policy.
I'll make a motion that we adopt this body worn camera model policy dated September 2015. That's the most current one.
That's the most current,
Okay.
unless we adopt something from the sheriff's office or them, but this is the one that the state sent me.
Okay. And since we haven't had the chance to read through it, and you gotta go next week, I'd say we start with this one.
A second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Take care.
Anything else, Mark? You're done?
No, that was it, thank you.
Mark, I got one question for you,
Okay.
just since we're talking to you already. I was talking to one, and I don't remember which officer it was on a call one night, and we were discussing dead spots in the town with radios, the portables. Have we looked into going into repeaters in the car?
We have, the expense for repeaters was more than what we wanted to pay. We didn't have the budget for them at the time. We used to have a microphone in the vehicle. It was just, it was a Wi-Fi microphone. You just carry it on your body, and that would go approximately 100 yards from your microphone to the car and then go. That got broke when a 6'5" officer was here, and he kept hitting it with his knee, and he's no longer here.
Do you remember what
We still have it.
idea what the call? I'm just curious, things are getting very weird
Right.
out there. And we, you
Well,
see
I'll
the
tell-
calls that are happening around the county, and, we have our dead spots when we do stuff, and you can't talk to anybody.
And I can, like, you'll know, like, I can tell, like, some of the foyer here that, over Labor Day, there was a shooting in the village, like, people don't think it happens in their little neck of the woods, but this guy's walking down the street threatening to shoot people with a handgun, and then he touched it off, unknown direction, we don't know what direction. We got the shell, but we can never locate him. We know who he is now, after talking to different people. But that night, we could not locate him, like, we had the dogs here and cops from as far away as Painted Post to try to locate him, but, think it doesn't happen, it happens. Just 'cause you don't know, it's still happening. So, like in that instance, when I'm down in the woods, my portable wouldn't work.
Or your cell phone.
It depends on where you're at. You might walk 5 yards and then it works. So it's just touchy.
I'd just be curious to see the pricing.
Yeah.
I don't think you can ever go too far with some of the safety stuff and something like that, where somebody can at least communicate. I don't know how you put a dollar
Yeah,
sign
I
to
don't
some of
know.
that.
I'll be honest, I haven't checked on them in like 2 years now.
Right. It was just one of the new officers we were talking, be curious to see that.
The, bus garage ban, we have one still, out there on the bus garage, which we have received our payment for, and the sale is complete. As of, August, August 30th, the, cost to pay off the ban would be $43,491.48. We can pay it all off and be done with it, or the bank doesn't care if we, but we did receive the money, so.
I would pay it off.
I'd pay it off. I'd make a motion that we pay it off.
I'll second that.
Okay. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This will change a little bit because it would be a few weeks extra interest, but, okay. David, you were gonna talk about the lawsuit, the appeal last month?
Yes.
No, you're good.
Let's see, the attorney, well, everybody's aware that Judge Nasca ruled in favor of Barron Winds in the town, dismissed the petition filed by Chad Ziegenfuss, Steve Trude, to overturn local law number 2, 2019, raising the turbine height to 650 feet. The attorney for Ziegenfuss et al. Filed a notice of appeal, and he did it within the time frame established by law. He needs, the next step is for that attorney to prepare a record to be submitted to counsel for the town in Barron Winds and to the court. That's likely to be a rather expensive and time-consuming process, and that has not yet been completed. I don't even know if it's been commenced. Nevertheless, I don't have a lot of experience with appellate work. It's a different kind of animal than courtroom work. And it is my recommendation to the town to hire outside counsel who has experience with this sort of thing to represent the town on this appeal.
Do you have any recommendations of?
Not at this point. I'm kind of waiting for guidance from the board. If I can go ahead and do this, I will certainly do it.
Is there something that has to be responded to? Do we wait, are we waiting for something from them? I don't.
We're waiting. What's been filed is just a notice of appeal.
So we can wait then.
I'm sorry?
So we can wait then until we're given some type of notice.
But then there'll be a deadline, and if you don't have an attorney to
Well,
respond.
You can.
Because they've gotta give the appeal, to someone here, right? The town, and then so many days, you're given so many days to respond, correct?
Oh, yeah. But we're not anywhere near that point. The next step is for the other attorney, Gary Abraham, to prepare a record on appeal, which will include all of the affidavits and all of the exhibits and all of the pleadings, the petition, the amended petition, all of the responses. It's voluminous. He needs to prepare that, needs to send it at this point to me and to the attorney for Barron Winds. We take a look at it to see that it's complete, that nothing has been omitted, and that what the documents that have been submitted are copies of the documents that were actually submitted to the court. Nothing has been left out or changed. And then at that point, the record is certified to the appellate division up in Rochester. And then the court will allow for some time for Gary Abraham to file his appeal documents, his appellate brief, and then the other attorneys have an opportunity, some time to file responsive briefs. And what those periods of time are, I don't believe are actually fixed by law. They're more fixed by court procedure and the judges and their clerks and how busy they are and how extensive the case is. So I can't give you any helpful timeframes.
I guess I would make a motion that we have Mr. Miller give us some recommendations, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, and I would hope to give you as many names as I can. I have a couple in mind, and I've been doing a little research on different websites to see who has some experience in this area. So I'm sure I can come up with 2 or 3 names that would be that would provide good representation to the town.
So at this point, we just have to wait for you to come up with a recommendation.
Yes, because the only thing that's been done at this point is the notice of appeal has been filed, and that does not require any response.
Okay.
So you made the motion, right?
I made a motion that we have Attorney Miller give us some recommendations, and we can go from there.
I'll second that. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It's budget time. We have to, set a day. I did not get the clean budget from Baldwin before today, so we need to set a time to receive it from the clerk and then schedule our workshops. I would suggest we would schedule the first workshop the day that we are going to receive the budget.
Don't we have to receive it before the 30th of September?
Yeah, I think it's, yeah, we would, I
Would
would
they
hope
give
we
it-
could do it like the beginning of next week.
And Baldwin's will have it ready by
Yeah,
then?
I will, yeah, you should have. She had sent me an email that she was sending it to me, and I didn't get it before, I didn't get it today, so. Tuesday, the 28th, next week, is that?
I'm only free the 27th and 29th, Monday, Wednesday.
Same for me.
Tuesday, I'm in a training.
Wednesday, the 29th,
I
or
can do
not?
Wednesday, 29th.
No, the 29th, Wednesday?
29? 7 o'clock? Is that good?
Yep.
Do we want to set several more workshops so that we can put them all in one ad?